Greetings, folks. I wanted to help you think through how to write your thesis statement that I've asked you to submit for the Mansfield Park papers. As you know, a thesis statement helps to shape the paper that you write. So it's important that your thesis statement make a claim or an argument or a debatable point. This means that a thesis statement is not a fact. Have a look at the example of student writing at the bottom of this slide. In Jane Austen's novel Mansfield Park, the heroine Fanny Price is portrayed as an introvert with a shy personality, while Patricia Rozima's 1999 movie, in that movie, Fanny is outspoken and has a strong, vibrant personality. That statement is pretty much true. I mean, it's not debatable. Yes, you could give some examples of the shy personality versus the vibrant personality, but it's really not much to build a paper on. So, can this piece of writing be transformed into a thesis? Yes, it can. Here we have the student writing at the top. And we can ask ourselves questions about the fact in an effort to make it into an argument. My best suggestion is, in a comparison paper, consider the value of the difference between the two representations. Ask yourself, why would Rozima make this editorial change? What value does this interpretation of Fanny add? So, what you can do then, once you consider those questions, you can rewrite the statement of fact into an argument, a claim. So here we have Rozima's Fanny Price is outspoken with a strong and vibrant personality. That's the statement of fact. Now, we can go on to say, while it appears that this interpretation is completely at odds with Austen's shy heroine, Rozima's representation actually underscores how powerful Fanny is within the novel. So here, the writer would be highlighting the value that Rozima's interpretation has brought to the novel. And the structure of the paper comes together pretty quickly after that. For example, some of the debatable points that would need to be supported by the paper. First, you certainly need to acknowledge the ways in which Fanny is shy in the novel, but then you might go on to investigate the ways in which she asserts her agency. Then, in examining the film, you would give examples of Rozima's Fanny's assertiveness. And finally, you would reflect on how helpful Rozima's representation is for modern audiences unfamiliar with the standards of behavior for 19th century women. So this basically, once you have a debatable claim, the structure of the paper comes together pretty easily. Another common misstep for a thesis statement is writing one that's too vague. For instance, here's a piece of student writing. It says, Jane Austen's Mansfield Park and Patricia Rozima's 1999 Mansfield Park film adaptation both incorporate slavery into their storylines in differing ways that allow us, as readers, to analyze the intention of the authors. So this statement is a catch-all. There's nothing that clarifies what the differences are in the ways slavery is portrayed in the two films. So rather than a thesis statement, it's more of a statement of topic. We know that in this paper, the issue of slavery and how it's addressed in both versions will be explored, but still, like I said, that's a topic. I would also like to put down a caveat that it's really difficult to know what the intentions of Austen and Rosima were. So rather than trying to write papers that make claims that you can't really support, I would encourage you to characterize the distinctions between the two representations and to discuss the effects of those decisions on audience or on the story that they're telling. So let's avoid the authorial intent pitfall. Okay, so as it stands, the statement above, the student writing above, is very vague. But the student actually went on to say, in a revision, Austen includes slavery in her literature very nonchalantly, whereas Rosima directs her film to incorporate slavery in a forthright manner. I would point out that the language here is still vague, but there does seem to be an implied value claim. Austen is nonchalant. Does this mean careless, maybe? While Rosima is forthright, meaning honest. I'd like to think about how we can turn these implicit value claims into an argument. We'd want to start by revising the sentence to clarify the facts. So, for instance, Rosima's film brings to light the underpinnings of slavery in Austen's novel. Now we have a more specific fact to work with, and a little bit less of the vague language. That being nonchalant and quote-unquote forthright. So now that we have that statement, we want to think through, we can ask ourselves these questions. How is that editorial decision highlighting slavery valuable or problematic? What does it enable us to see about the world Austen creates? Is it as ordered as the Bertrams would have it appear? Also, Rosima makes comparisons of slavery to marriage. Are those comparisons fair or unfair? Are they problematic in any way? So once we start to answer those questions, we can really build an argument. We can say, for instance, Rosima's film brings to light the underpinnings of slavery in Austen's novel. That was the statement of fact. Now we get into the value claims. While this move is valuable insofar as the film brings attention to an embarrassing feature of history that romances tend to gloss over, at the same time, Rosima also seems to go too far in using slavery as a metaphor for the condition of women in Mansfield Park. Here you really, this would be an interesting argument to make. The student would have a lot to do in terms of, you first have to discuss what discussion of slavery there really is in the Austen novel. Then you would highlight the moments, some important moments that Rosima depicts. And then you'd want to make claims of your own about whether the use of slavery in that manner is exploitative or valuable. Basically the structure of the paper unfolds in front of you. You want to discuss Austen, you want to discuss slavery in Rosima, and then you want to say something about how that affects you as an audience member. That's it as far as the slideshow goes. I'll be interested to see what you have to say. So please reach out and I will respond to your thesis statements as you post them. Be sure to read each other's and read my comments to each other, just so that you can get more of an idea of what we're looking for. Thank you.